What up, guys? I don't know if you're watching this from. I don't know if you're watching the replay, but I'm gonna wait like 30 minutes. I mean, not 30. I'll wait 15 minutes to see if anybody shows up. So, if you're watching, uh, go ahead and skip 15 minutes into the future, and I will put on a timer. This is my very first stream. Okay, and I'll give you an introduction first. Like, yeah, this is my very first stream. I'm Rami. I'm a software engineer. I have tons of experiences at places like Google, Dell, and Twitch. Want to help you guys, whatever it is, like understand crypto, state of tech, whatever questions that you have for me, I would love to hear it. And hopefully, give me it. Hopefully, everybody can hear me this time because I was having some audio issues the last time. Let's see if I can go ahead. Oh yeah, but I promised you guys I was gonna share my screen. Let's put a timer on for 15 minutes. See if anybody else can get in here. Hello, hello. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. All right. So the sound is playing. Hey, my guy Kinesis is in here. What's up? Bruh. I'm gonna wait 15 minutes. Just to see. My God, I'm cleaning and getting ready for the week. We are streaming on Facebook, Google, Instagram. I mean, not Google. That'd be insane. I don't even know. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Definitely after this, I'll hop off and I'll talk to you, my guy. Friends coming to support me, guys. I guess while we're waiting, I can talk about somebody messaged me and they talked about the computers. I forgot. All right, this is an important moment. I need to write down this timestamp real quick. I'm gonna say I need a place to record some of this stuff. Yeah. Give me 1 second. So I'm gonna say at 5:11. So somebody asked me what computer do I use in order to program. I'm programming right now on a Mac OS M3 16-inch. It costs $4,000. And you don't need all of that. Like if you are looking to buy your son a computer in order for him to get into tech and programming, honestly, like at this point, Dell is a great coding computer. Like back in the day, when I wanted to install something on a Windows, it would take a long time. But there's a lot of different tools available for Windows to make the programming experience a lot better. So I would say, and then definitely like what's going on right now with the cloud, it's it's less about what computer do you have. You can pay for, you can rent out computers in AWS and GCP to code on if you want to go the extra mile. But yeah, I if I had a son or if I were a coder on a budget, I'd probably say the Dell XPS 13 if I was really on a budget. Let's see, I'm gonna pull that up right now. Dell XPS 13. So yeah, and another thing about the like Windows operating system is it's better for video games. So um, if you bought like a desktop, see, yeah, this is $600. So this is what I would say on a budget. If you were sitting in college with a laptop, like this is a great budget laptop. Um, what else would I say? They have the 15-inch if you want them to get more screen space. I am working with two monitors. So I think I have a Dell ultra wide 34-inch. So I think it just matters like, yeah, ultra Dell monitor 34-inch. I wish I could show you guys my setup right now, but I'm not sure. Let me see if I can switch my camera to what I see real quick. Um, yeah, it's not letting me see. It's not letting me use my phone as a camera on StreamYards, but I basically just have two monitors. I have one right here and one to the left, and then I hook it up to my laptop so that I can like code and like look at another thing if I wanted to. Um, as far as, yeah, I would just say any laptop with a good amount of memory will be good enough. Um, but you definitely, I use Mac because it's easier to install my different dependencies on an application. It's a much better experience. But I think it's called Windows Live Server. Let me see if I can find it. Windows Live Server. I think that's where you can. I used to dual boot Linux on. No, that's not it. Windows Linux terminal for Windows. YSL is called Y. Why does it sound like Young Thug's label or so? No. Okay, it's WSL. Excuse me. It's WSL. It's not YSL. It's WSL. So when you get WSL, you'll have a Linux terminal on your. Basically, Linux is a operating system built by programmers, made for programmers, and Windows. Originally, Windows was built for everybody, like teachers. It wasn't really built for programmers, so it's not a very good coding environment. So if you get Windows, uh, if you get a Windows computer, just get WSL, and it'll make your coding experience a lot easier. Thank you, Kinesis, for the input. WSL. Let's see how much time we got on the clock. If anybody has any questions for me, I'd love to hear it on the stream. But that is my thoughts on coding laptops. I don't know where you guys are watching. I would love to hear it in the chat, who you are and what you do. But I am on YouTube at the Black Tech Experience. I really appreciate it if you watch the stream over there. I'm trying to get monetized. If you're having any trouble finding my name, yeah, find me on. Okay, so it looks like most people are on YouTube. But yeah, just find me over here. I'm gonna share my link, maybe customize channel. I like my banner. I need to update it. But yeah, appreciate it if you guys would check me out on YouTube. I'm gonna wait 5 more minutes just to see if anybody else shows up. Guys, I've upgraded my studio equipment. I've been getting a lot of complaints on my video about my audio and my what is it? My setup. I'm getting better each. We got CeeLo in the chat. What's up, CeeLo? I'm not sure if I know you by your username, but yeah, I've definitely been upgrading my equipment, guys, trying to get you guys better content. Yeah, I appreciate anybody who's supported me along the way. It's been definitely a lot of it investment, a lot of monetary investment to get this business up and growing. But definitely committed to giving you guys the best content I can. And yeah, I'll continue to improve. If you notice any issues, please help me out in the chat. This is my first time streaming on StreamYards. And oh my God, my man CeeLo don't even know me. And he's sitting over here supporting me in the chat, man. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I don't know if you guys realize, but like when I started this YouTube channel, I had to like go around asking people to like subscribe to my channel. And my coach, like I would have to talk to people and they'd be like, how many subscribers do you have? And I was just like, I have 25. And they would just laugh at me. And I was like, and I submitted so many YouTube videos without like ever getting a subscriber that doesn't know me personally. And so, CeeLo, I don't know who you are, but I really do appreciate you showing up and supporting. You know, I feel like you're helping me make my dream come true. All the people who have supported me, even though my content is not the best at this moment, but it really does mean a lot to me, whoever you are. If you have any questions, I would love to hear it. I'd love to help you get to wherever you want to go in tech or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. Let me see. I need to start looking into the camera. Still haven't developed that camera presence just yet. Like the chat. So I have 2 monitors, right? I'm looking at the chat over here. Dreams and Nightmares was his first video, guys. To be honest with you, I feel like I'm in another nightmare situation, bro. It's like it's kind of funny. Like everybody loved that video, but some people talk to me and they're like, I can't believe you said those things about the people that you work with. And I look back at the video and I'm just like, I didn't say, people make mistakes. It's part of business. I didn't say my manager was a bad person or anything. I was just saying like, hey, like, because of some mistakes that my teammates made, I ended up suffering. My career ended up suffering a lot because of that. And that's just, that's just part of business. And it is so hard, guys, to like trust your teammates and believe in them uh, and feel like people have the best are doing their best for you, especially because like business, like everybody's looking out for themselves. But um, I think that's always the right way to play the game. Like you talk about LeBron, like he's always pass first, or even like Michael Jordan. They have to realize it's important to pass the ball and believe in your teammates. So um, no matter what happens to me, I will always try to give my teammates the benefit of the doubt. Um, but yeah, it's just it's a journey. I'm stuttering, and oh my god, this is gonna be a long stream, man. I'm stuttering. I'm already stuttering over here, crying and stuff. No, I'm not crying. I'm too masculine. But uh, yeah, I guess we're at the time, guys, and I have a pretty good show for you today. Love you guys to participate, but let me mark where we're at in the video. So we got 17 people in here. I mean, not 17. We're at minute 17. We got 5 people in here. So today, I would like to talk to you about how did a Black software engineer with no connections at Twitch get a job there? And this is important because some of you guys right now, you are students and you don't have a job, right? You're waiting for, let me get this out of the way. Let me get a focus on me and we'll take that better now. You guys don't have a job right now and you're wondering, how do I get a job? What should I be doing in my time right now to maximize my chances of getting a job in the future? Well, first, I want to say that the industry goes in cycles. There's periods of ups and there's periods of down. Right now, there is this AI craze. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, like, I know what the future holds. Nobody does. But what I will tell you is that if you keep working hard, regardless of what happens, you will have opportunities. Whether that be you using the AI tools to start your own business and using those to like create an app in a day where it would have taken me months. I really want to tell you right now, it's important to work. It's important to keep studying. It's important to keep hustling because there a period of upness will be coming. I don't know when, but it will come. So when I graduated from Fisk University, if you don't know me, my name is Rami. I graduated from Fisk University and I did 2 things. I tried to get my master's degree and I looked for a job. And because I split my time in those 2 different areas, my life, I failed at both. So the number one advice you need to be thinking about is that you need to go all in on getting a job. It can't be like, maybe I get a job in IT or maybe I go this way. I think if the first piece of advice I would say is that you need to be putting all your energy into one effort and go into that. And so one thing, I went through a whole lot of interviews, right? I went through like 40 different interviews before I got a chance to even interview with Twitch. And some of those I was failing. The interview process is broken. It's not fair. And to be honest with you guys, like when I talk to people at Harvard or MIT and these bigger schools, these guys can get a job at these places because they know somebody personally that became a manager. And so this is another reason why it's important to be using networking. Being just a coder is not good enough to be a software engineer. There's so many different parts of this game, whether it comes from leadership, writing documentation, talking to people. Being a coder is not good enough. When I was a student in high school, I wanted to be an author because I didn't want to be around people. And that's what made me think that coding was a good career for me. But I have struggled, and I've seen other people struggle as well because they do not have the social skills. So I want to be saying, you definitely need to be going to different career fairs. You need to be going to as many career fairs as possible. And if you live in a city like California, Seattle, and New York, where there are a lot of different tech companies, you are in a great position. But if you don't live in those cities, like I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and another reason why I struggled in my career is because I wanted to be in a tech company like a Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and a Twitch. And let me see, everybody's. But yeah, let me see, what was my thought? You need to be moving towards a city like the California, the New Yorks, and Seattle. I'm sorry, I was just checking to see who's in the stream. I wanted to know. Everybody kind of left, but yeah, you need to be moving to one of these cities for career fair, for networking, because there's sometimes when you talk to the right people, they'll be willing. Like I had an interview with Google in Seattle one time, and I met somebody from Tableau, and they were saying like, "Hey, you seem like a cool guy. Like I want to get you an interview at Tableau," and I didn't follow up on that. And that's another important thing about this game. Like, you definitely have to be so good at sales, selling yourself, chasing down leads, even if they don't seem like they are important in the beginning. These things are going to be extremely important towards you getting a job. And yeah, another thing that you could do right now, if you do not have a job, if you're in tech, I would say one of the reasons why I got hired at Twitch is because I had a very nice portfolio. I'm going to share my screen one more time. Let's take a look at my GitHub account real quick. So yes, GitHub is a place where you guys can. Let me see. GitHub is a place where you guys can go and do software engineering work for free. Yeah, unfortunately. But it is a place where you can collaborate with seniors and engineers. Let me see. Pull requests. So, right. Let's see. Wagtail. So here it is. Okay. So GitHub is a place where you can practice skills. One thing that I did, Twitch is predominantly written in Golang and Python. And so I had experience. I took a course. I bought a course from Udacity on Golang. And then I used that time to go into look at open source projects. Like right now, you can say something like open source projects in Golang, right? Once you look up something like that, you can get a list of different repositories that are written in Golang. Some of these you might find, look, they have something about GPT, natural language processing. They have things about Bitcoin. Like you're going to need to specialize in a different area. Same thing is a distributed system in Golang. And so because of that, I looked very appealing. Like, and then I was in here in Wagtail. Wagtail is a Python project. Basically, I was writing a lot of JavaScript, Python, HTML, CSS, and then I had people give me code reviews. So I went through the process of writing code way before I even got to the company. Even before I had a job, this shows initiative. This shows leadership. This shows like I would go out of the box. I would say if I had to start over right now, I would say that I would learn Rust. Rust is a extremely sought after language when it comes to jobs. They're hiring at companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Google. Like Rust is way more safe than C++. We're seeing that C++ has a lot of memory leaks, which is great for hackers. And it's very hard to get that right. But I will say, when you are learning the language Rust, it is going to be extremely hard. And you're going to have to get help. And you're going to start small. So when you're in GitHub, like let's say we go to, I'm going to do it right now with you guys, right? So Rust open source projects. I've never written a line of Rust, but if I was in y'all's hands, right, we could even like Rust programming classes, right, on Udacity, right? We can find a course. This is not it. Rust. They're just talking about it. Let's see if I can find it. But yeah, you're gonna have to do some research. I would say there's definitely books, but in my opinion, I learn better from seeing somebody doing it themselves. Rust in motion, Rust lane. So if I was gonna go about looking to learn Rust or any a language like this, I would definitely just do a bit of Google searching. I think Udacity should have something, right? So this is what I did for Golang at the time, which was a programming language. Rust designing RESTful APIs. Ugh. Doesn't look like Rust is going to be on there. But okay, Pluralsight is a place like Rust Fundamentals. You can get this course. It's $29, or they say this platform is $29 a month for Pluralsight, right? I would do your own research as far as investigating how important Rust is, or what is the best Rust course. And then from there, once you're able to get a good amount of Rust into you, you can search for open source projects in Rustling on GitHub. They have all these different open source projects, right? Tari is a great one. I've heard of Tari. I think it's a desktop app. So once you're here, you go to issues, and then you can look at labels. Like these projects are usually founded by people, and they triag them and they say whether these are great for newcomers or what. So generally, they have different tabs for good for newcomers, right? They're tasks that are not extremely difficult, but will give you a chance to get your feet wet in the system. It's not going to require a lot of work. You do something like this, it's going to take you a lot of time, especially getting up to date with a new project. But this is how I got an interview with Twitch, is that I showed the initiative, I showed them coding samples, I went through the reviewing process, and I did things like writing documentation, and these are the things that we do at my job right now. And so these things are how you can get your feet wet, how you can cut your teeth. I don't know the phrase, how you can get the experience without having a job. If you are time free, but don't necessarily have anything on your resume. And from there, when my Twitch interviews, I had 3 or 4 of them, right? One of them was a dynamic programming question, and I didn't do well at all. I struggled. Let me get back into the camera. I think we're done with that part. So when I was interviewing for Twitch, right? My first question, it was a dynamic programming problem, and I struggled. I gave the unoptimized solution, and I could not figure out for the life of me what was going to be the next, what was the most optimized solution. And so I remember going home from that day, and I was in tears because I literally have been through so many interviews with Google and other companies where I did so much better than that, where I got every problem right and I optimized for the best solution, and these guys still didn't hire me for whatever reason. And so you never know what these guys are thinking. But I went through the entire process, and I just put my best foot forward, and I ended up getting the job, which is hilarious, right? I cried I was close to tears, right, on the first day, but because I put my best foot forward and I did the best that I could, I ended up getting the job regardless. And I think it's important. Like you never really know what other people are thinking or what they're seeing and who they're interviewing. And so yeah, the industry can be very elitist and unfair. And but um, regardless of whether they treat you unfairly, it's important to put your best foot forward. Now, I want to say here's another thing. Do you even want to work for a FANG company? I would say that it's overrated. It's extremely overrated. I think it's better than the companies I was working at previously. But if you can get to a startup or a lesser known company that's out of like New York, California, or Seattle, you will do great. You need to be focused on finding people who are willing to teach you, who are willing to show you the ropes. Because once you get into a FANG company, right? Once you get into some places, they are going to blame you for everything. Unfortunately, what do I mean by that? Like, business is not a Pokemon game. It's not something where you start off in a region and you get to fight level 3 Pokemons and you get to just grind your XP up until you can fight level 15 Pokemons. Sometimes you get thrown into situations that you have to fight level 40 Pokemon. And you have level 3. Like, it makes no sense. You were doomed from the very start. But these guys are going to hold you accountable for not being good enough. The situations are unfair. What's his name? The owner of the Dallas Mavericks. I forget what his name is. He has a phrase. He says, business is the most competitive sport in the world. And I agree. You're often thrown into situations that are unfair. And so one thing that I wish I would have did is I wish I didn't focus chasing these bigger name companies, and I focused on getting the best jobs that I could at the time. And so that's my advice for you. If you are looking to get in a FANG position, if you want to know what this is like, that's what it is. It's unfair. And that's why it's extremely important, if you can, get an internship with these Googles, these Facebooks, and Microsoft. Do your best and get in there. But still, it's still a game of luck. And just because you did not make it on your first time, like I failed my Google internship. You can go and you can look at the video. But I still ended up making it here regardless. So that's my advice. If you don't have a job, go on GitHub, practice your skills, learn these sought after languages like Rust. Python is another strong language that you can use. It's going to be very important for me. Machine learning models, definitely keep brushing up on your math. This is the best I would say. If I was starting over today, that's what I would do in order to get a job. And that is my spiel. All right, let's see if I can look at the comments. It sounds rough. Any advice for undergrads? I'm 27 and had no luck getting a job. I might as well try to master Rust. Right, Techie Lewis. I would say Python and Rust. Python is going to be really good. Let me see. I don't know why my sound sounds bad. I apologize if there's something wrong. I'm going to take a look. But I would say Python and Rust is going to be extremely hard to learn. Give me a second. I'm gonna list them out. Rust is going to be extremely hard to learn. Give me a second. I'm gonna list them out. My bad for that. Yeah, but I don't know if Techie Lewis, if there's something I can do better for the sound, I really appreciate your advice. But yeah, Python or Rust. If you can learn Rust, man, you are going to be. These dudes are going to be knocking down your door. If you can learn Rust and do a tiny, I don't know if you, let me see. I'm going to share my screen again. Go on GitHub, find projects that say good first issue. They're not going to be as hard as they can be. If you can learn Rust, man, these people are going to be knocking down your door to try to get you in there. So that would be my advice. But to be honest with you, bro, like I would, if you want to learn Rust, I would dedicate a year to that because it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be tough, and you might want to look at other options along the way. But that's what I would be dedicating my time to. Oh, okay. Any advice for undergrads right now? That's a great question. That is a great question, my guy. Any advice for undergrads? Let me just mark this time real quick. I'm gonna mark this timestamp. So 30. Any advice for undergrads? So I have a video out where somebody was talking about how let me take this down. Any advice for undergrads? I have a guy out talking about how most of the computer science courses are going to be obsolete with AI, and I agree with that. I would not be a computer science major at this point because we don't know what the landscape is going to look like in the future. It's changing a lot. I would be a computer science minor, and I would be a math major. Or if you are ambitious, if you really want to just not have, if you want to maximize for having the most fun in college and then looking for a job, I would say be a computer science minor and be a English major. That way you can have time to do what you want in your life. Have a girlfriend, smoke, do whatever you want to do, right? Like on the other side, right? Because like in my computer science degree was tough, and a lot of I have a computer science degree from Fisk University and from Cornell, so my time was super devoted towards learning the theory of computation, and a lot of that stuff I don't even use in my job. A lot of the classes would be great if I got a PhD in computer science, but since I didn't go that route, it's not very good. I would say, yeah, I would be computer science minor, some type of other major, and then I would be really disciplined. When I was at Twitch, I met people that said they got like 2.3 GPAs and they were at Twitch because they studied leak coding. So you're gonna have to keep I don't know what these job landscapes are gonna look like in the future, but I would be focusing your energy on getting a job. Getting a job is number one. Having fun, number two, and because that's a part of this. Like, don't be a computer science major because you don't like people and you want to stay away from them. Be a computer science major because you want to get the bag. Because this stuff is not maximize the bag. Like this stuff, the theory of this stuff is not as useful. It could be useful. Like when I got my master's degree in computer science, the guy told me, like, I don't even know if you're going to appreciate what this degree, or from Cornell, right? I got my master's at Cornell. The provost or whatever, he said, I don't know if you're going to be able to appreciate what this degree did for you until 10 years down the line. And I agree. It's hard for me to, like, even though, like, I took a class on blockchain and my job has nothing to do with blockchain today. But because I took that class, I can get a job in blockchain. So there's a lot of general information that I have about these things. But it's hard to say how much my computer science degree is going to help me as the landscapes keep changing. So it's important to be able to teach yourself and to hustle rather than get a degree. Like the hustle is so much more important than actually getting the degree. Did I transfer? Let me mark this timestamp. 4:30. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, Tech Lewis said the same thing. My CS degree didn't matter that much. Uh, Hey, my guy, Emmanuel Roberts said, save this live stream to your YouTube channel so I can listen to it later. You got it, my guy. I promise. I'm gonna be clipping this jut up. I'm gonna serve it to y'all. The audio's right, the camera's right, the lights is right. Hey, I'm gonna package this jut up. Definitely leave me any questions, man, under the comments. I don't have a very big channel yet, so I'm going to be answering every single one of your questions. I think somebody asked me about a Discord. So if you go under the link in my YouTube channel, I do have a Patreon. You can pay $5 to be on my Patreon. And that way I will start a Discord. Maybe we can get in there and we can talk every Sunday. I would love to meet you guys. Like, to be honest, guys, like if sometimes I'll be feeling like I work with people from Harvard, from MIT and stuff, and sometimes I'll be feeling like a loser and stuff because I don't know some of their stuff. But I have to remember that you guys, there's people that would love to have some of the similar success or at least learn from me. I have a lot to show you. I have a lot to teach you. Um, and yeah, I would love to help you guys. Like I saw one dude from Twitch. This dude said he got like a whole bunch of people jobs, that he even hired some of his people. Like that's what I aspire to. Like I want to put people on. I want to be a leader in my space. Like I really want to help you guys. Especially if you're black. If you're not black, I want to help you too. Definitely. I think that, and that brings me into my next point. But yeah, um, let me say that story for a second. Computer science major with a cybersecurity concentration. Hey, I think that's a great thing. Like cybersecurity, AI is going to be able to hack things a lot easier. And how do we help appreciate? How do we make sure that we have AI that's able to defend against those attacks? I think that's a very good idea. Cybersecurity concentration, I think you're on the right track, my guy. Networking is so important. Networking, if you've ever seen a dude that like, didn't work very hard in college and was able to, do his thing and still get a job, it's because he was good at networking. So I was working my butt off. But I didn't appreciate networking. So I didn't maximize my potential. It's important to be able to sell yourself. And I cannot stress that enough. Like, why work hard? Working hard is important, but working smart is so important, not to waste your time. So, all right, how did I land my internship with no experience? I'm about to tell you my story of how I got started in computer science, and I'm going to be talking about how I got my first internship with Google. So, my guy Techie Lewis says, I need guidance in this world. Hey, bro. Hey, like, I'm here to help, my guy. If I can make your life any easier, then I will definitely. This is something that I'm going to lose some sleep over. It's just helping y'all, bro. Because it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like I don't get the appreciation that I deserve in my job. And so, not to say that you guys owe me anything, but some of you guys have really, really put a smile on my face when you appreciate or say thank you to me. So, uh, everybody say Techie Lewis in the chat, bro. Put Techie Lewis in the chat, bro. We a team in here, bro. All right, but now I'm going to be talking about how I got first started in computer science, and so I'm gonna be reading you guys exactly how I got started. So 20%. All right. So how did I get started in computer science? I took my first class in computer science in high school. And it really wasn't a programming class. It had a lot of computer science techniques. It was really this like 3D engine where we could make video games. And to be honest with you, I was kind of bored by that stuff. Like I didn't think there was much of it. I didn't care. Like I really didn't know what was going on, to be honest. And so, but at the end of the class, there was a chance for me to learn Java programming, right? There was a Java programming class, and I didn't, I wanted a more challenge. Like, I will say this about me. Maybe I wasn't the best student, but I love challenging myself. I love looking for harder challenges. And so I asked the teacher, I was like, hey, I want to be in your Java class, like your Java programming class. Like, I would really appreciate it if you would put your word in for me. And she told me she didn't think I was good enough to be in her class. Like, she didn't think, like, she thought the class was going to be too tough for me. And I was kind of put off by this because it's like when I was in high school, let me make sure I say the timestamp. When I was in high school, I had to fight my butt off in order to get to the higher level classes, like the math. Like, I always asked my teacher, can I be in your higher level math class, right? And they would be like, hey, like, you got a 93 on my test. Like, I only want to promote people to the next class if they get consistently hundreds on all of my tests, right? And so I actually have, let me see if I can pull it up. I actually have the email that my mom sent to my teacher. And I'm going to read it to you. Miss Smith, I am concerned that you did not allow Rami to take your computer engineering class. You and I discussed it during parent-teacher conference, and I was hoping this class, I can't see the rest of that. This class would have been an opportunity to Rami to see if he wanted to go in the computer engineering field because he doesn't know what major he wants. He's a great math student, I believe it says. And I know anything that Rami puts his mind to, he will excel. For example, currently he's in AP economics, even though he made an 80, something, make it, something, I guess my mom said I will make an even better grade the next quarter. Could you explain to me why you didn't allow him to attend? He had the opportunity before the class became full. So you see how this teacher did me, right? Like, she personally stopped me from being in a computer science class, guys. She stopped me from being in her computer science class until it got full. And then, yeah, like, she said I wasn't good enough. And to be honest, guys, like, back then, I didn't think I was good enough, right? Like, I thought programming was for geniuses. I thought programming was something that you had to be, like, super Poindexter. And the identity that I had of myself back then, I thought I was, because I wasn't making the best grades, because I wasn't the best student, I didn't think I was very smart. And it's been super hard for me to shake that identity that I am not powerful, that I am somebody that can bring change to my community, or I'm someone that they can trust. And so I didn't end up, like, even though my mom fought for me, let me get back to the screen. My mom fought for me, and they ended up forcing that woman to allow me in their class, but I really didn't want to go anymore. I want to go where people want me to be there. I don't want to be in places where people are, or back then, right? I didn't want to be in a place where somebody didn't want me to be there, didn't believe in me, didn't help me. And so I went to Fisk University, an HBCU, historically black college, because when I was in high school, I was in a predominantly white school with very few teachers that looked like me, very few teachers that appreciated my experience. I went to Fisk University, an HBCU. Most of my teachers were black now. And then Google sent a teacher in order to teach that class, teach the 110 class, right? I didn't want to be in it. I wanted to take art, right? And they said, no. You got to take this computer science class. Google sent in a teacher there. I get in the class. The dude is black. The dude is a nerd. He's quirky. He's funny. He's unapologetically black. I saw this stuff. I saw him, and I believed in it. I believed that I could be similar to him, that I could be confident in my nerd, my quirkiness. And because of that, like I struggled in this class, but I think I ended up getting an A or whatever. But yeah, the computer science 110 course was tough. It was tough, guys, but I got through it. At the same time, if you guys go check me talking about why I failed my Google internship or whatever, um, I didn't believe that I was worthy for a Google internship. So when they told me to apply my freshman year, I waited to the last second, and then when the situation was, once the deadline had passed, I tried my hardest to. Then I wanted to try, right? Then I wanted to apply. Then I wanted to, quote unquote, get the, what is it? I wanted to try my best to get that chance, that opportunity to at least interview. And of course, when you pass the deadline, people don't care. So I came in my second year and I understood the importance of doing things on time. I studied after class. I worked with my teacher. I was helping him out behind the scenes, and he was helping me out. They sent another teacher from Google. He got me prepared. I did my interview, and because of that, I think I struggled. I feel like all throughout my life I've had issues with confidence, but I ended up getting the internship. And if there's anything I can say to you guys, like, it's so important to believe in yourself. It's so important to feel worthy of success. And it's so important to see other Black software engineers in this field stunting, flexing, showing you, hey, I can go into these circles and I can dominate. I went to Cornell. These people don't work like me. On my job, these people do not work like me. I promise you that. And they might come from a better family, right? Their dad might have been in their lives their entire time. Like their mom might have had more money. You know, they might be engineers, but they don't ever work like me. And they don't ever persevere. They don't ever, when things are getting tough, they don't ever do the things that I do. And I just want to tell you guys, like, please believe in yourself. Like, it is so important. If you are willing to make the sacrifices and have the patience, no matter how much you fail, every dog will have its day. And so that's how I got started in computer science, and my journey in this thing. So hope you guys can appreciate it. All right. So let's see. Let's answer some of my questions. My guy said we standing with Tech Lewis. How to format my resume, how to reach out to recruiters, FYI, I'm Black. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be on. Yeah, I will definitely work with you. Go see if you can get, like, look at my video, see if you can get my Patreon. I think it's the Black Tech Experience. I think hopefully you can afford like just $5 a month. I'll set up the Discord. Hopefully, I think, yeah, I'll set up the Discord. If you let me see. I don't know if I want to share my email, but Emmanuel Roberts, hopefully you can afford $5 a month, and I'll definitely look at your resume. I'll definitely give you all the stuff that I needed behind the scenes. Yeah, that teacher was whack and she did me dirty. Yeah, and I came back and I showed her to her face, like, I had the Google internship. And the people that she thought was going to be worthy for that class, they ended up dropping out and failing that class. So it's like, you never really know who somebody is until they fail, until they, like, some people that you feel like are going to be a star, they don't have the work ethic to persevere. And some people that you feel like are no good end up really becoming great. And I kind of feel like Draymond Green, man. Like, nobody believed in me, and I just became a superstar. So, yep. Appreciate it, Emmanuel Roberts. Yeah, anything that I can help. It's much appreciated. Appreciate the advice and guidance. Looking forward to the live stream. I'm off to my part-time now. All right, my guy. Thank you for being here, Techie Lewis. Love to hopefully meet some of y'all eventually in the Discord. Definitely gonna start making content. I don't have a lot of people, so hopefully y'all can ask me all your questions and we can turn it into content and I can keep on reaching people just like y'all. Okay, yeah, like I would say so Techie Lewis asked me, he's like, I don't really have much on my resume to show. I'm just now starting my degree. So Techie Lewis, I want to show you something. I want to show you something on my GitHub, right? So this is GitHub, and I was talking about earlier how you can do open source projects. Let me see. So I have a GitHub here. I have a pull request where all I did was I wrote documentation about how I think it's on another site, but basically all I did was I wrote documentation about how their software works, right? That's quick and easy. You might even be able to use ChatGPT to help you out. But like if you go to some sites, right? And I was thinking about doing this stuff on stream with you guys, but it's going to be kind of boring. Like there are some, let's see, issues. Like this repository is all about writing articles about coding. And this is a good way to get your feet wet into coding. This is a way to get you some experience. Like if you are at a school that doesn't have a good tech community, like you're gonna have to scrap a little bit harder. And so I would say number one, like just writing about documentation, how like different coding software works is a easy way to get your feet wet into this. Like, yeah, this is just asking about some ports. Listen to address under IPv6. Yeah, it's just people asking like, hey, can you update your software? Can you write some documentation? That's one way I would get some like cheap and easy experience until you can work your way up. But what else would I would do? I think it's important for you to start getting an internship, my guy. Cause like back in the day, like I liken computer science to being like a blacksmith. Like you really got to study under somebody, and like I can give you a whole lot of the information that it took me like years to search for a lot easier. And I promise you, I would love to make your journey a lot easier than mine. So because they definitely gave me a whole lot of L's to get this information. But yeah, let's network. You can find me at Ron Recruit on LinkedIn. I'll definitely keep you in mind, like wherever companies I'm at. All right. We are an hour in, and I definitely have way more content. I didn't realize people were going to show up today, but all right. So I think I have two more things that I can show you. I can talk about crypto, which is I can show you my crypto portfolio, why I think Bitcoin is the future, or I can show you guys military tech. I found this channel. She is great. She talks about how she got a military contract, and she talks about the certifications that you need in order to get a job like her. And if you are into tech and you think coding is not your thing, like military tech might be your thing. I think she was talking about she made $200K and she went overseas and she found a job. And it was tax-free. So she's probably making more money than me doing her thing. She was an IT help desk. We can watch her video or I can talk about crypto. I'll let you guys decide. And I'll paste my LinkedIn in the chat too while we're doing that. But what do you guys want to talk about? Military tech or crypto? Give me a sec. So my LinkedIn, I just posted it in the chat. You didn't catch that. Any preference? So I'll say it again. So military tech is just like the IT jobs that the military will want you to do. Um, and the my crypto portfolio, we could talk. We could do them both, but I just want to know what if you guys have any preference over what do I talk about. It looks like something is weird on my Instagram. Yeah, it seems like I've been disconnected from my live stream on Instagram because it's I've been talking for like an hour. You're definitely right. Manuel, it looks like you're the only person on here that's like talking to me. What do you want to talk about? Crypto or military tech? No preference? Ah. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna talk about crypto since we're not getting any feedback. I don't know if Emmanuel left and just the other two people in here watching. But yeah, let me record this timestamp. Maybe I can do both. Let me see. Whew. All right. 103. So, why do I think crypto is the future? Well, let me see. Disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Do your own research and invest in the things. This is just my thoughts and my feelings on why I have a lot of money invested in the crypto. And so crypto is the future to me because the process of printing money is not as safe as you think. So somebody could burn money and we'll never know about it. Printing money is costs costly services. Like we're always trying to figure out ways to make sure that people cannot counterfeit money, and still they find like it's just a race to try to keep up with the times. Like anytime somebody creates a new $20 bill, right? All people are going to do is just figure out how do we copy that to the best that we can. And like companies lose so much money every year because people turn in counterfeit dollars. And so with crypto, everything is recorded in the blockchain. So what is the blockchain? The blockchain is like a distributed ledger. So when you are at a bank, anytime you deposit money, they put your name down. They say, Rami just deposited $20. Anytime I spend money, they say, Rami just withdrew $5. The blockchain is just like a book. But anytime somebody writes something into there, nobody can ever erase it. It's for the future. Everything in the blockchain right now will always be there for the rest of the time. So that way there are no like conflicts. We can always trace back what things happen. And the blockchain gives us another thing. Like when a government wants to pay back their debts to other countries, they can steal from their citizens by printing more money. If you remember how your dad, he used to say, hey, I used to be able to go to the movies and get a drink and buy a pair of shoes for $5. That's because every single year we are printing money. And so the value of money becomes less. So $100 today, $100 could buy me, what could it buy me? It could buy me some Jordans. But in the future, maybe $100 will only be able to get me a Happy Meal. And that's very far off. But you get my point. As time goes on, money always depreciates. That's where blockchains such as Bitcoin come in. Instead of having to, quote unquote, get money that appreciates, that gets less over time, they've created an idea like we're gonna make this distributed ledger. We're gonna make this book, and every time you get a coin, we're gonna make sure that nobody can ever create money. There are a limited number of Bitcoin in this world, and we will never be able to create more Bitcoin. So as people are using this money, as the blockchain gets more and more valuable, more people are willing to invest their money into the blockchain, the entire ecosystem gains more money. So instead of you, like imagine if I give you a $20 bill and you use it, and next year you have it's less, it's only worth $10. Well, with blockchain, the more people invest their money into it, the more the people who are using it benefit from it. So if you remember, blockchain back in the day used to be 10 cents, but today it's worth 60,000. And that's because more people are using it and realizing, hey, a government cannot control this. A government cannot take our money. So this is something where I could, quote unquote, put my life savings, well, not life savings. Some people, I have friends that do put their life savings in the Bitcoin because they believe in it that much. They believe that the government is not something that they can trust with their money, and that Bitcoin, because it's decentralized, and that's the third reason why I believe that crypto is the future. It's decentralized. If I told you guys right now, I want you to capture all the people in a town, right? That's possible, right? You might capture 20 or 30 people. But if I told you, I want you guys to capture every human being on this earth, now that's an impossible problem, or close to impossible, right? That's extremely different from capturing 20 or 30 people. And so my point by this, like there have been governments like China who have come in and they've tried to ban crypto. But regardless, people are still using crypto. They can't ban it because even if you ban it in one country, there are people all over the world supporting Bitcoin. El Salvador right now, they were in debt, and the entire government invested all of their money into crypto because their currency was kept inflating. So they said, hey, this Bitcoin stuff looks stable. And now BlackRock is investing millions into it. And because El Salvador was the first country to put their money and invest everything in the Bitcoin, they are profiting. The entire country went from being in debt to being able to pay off all their debts. So it pays to be an early adopter in a cryptocurrency because it's definitely the future. The process of printing money is over. Like you can see it today. Even governments are adopting their own blockchains, right? They're adopting their own blockchains to be able to track money and make sure that people cannot counterfeit because it's their systems. You cannot hack. The only way you can hack Bitcoin is they have a proof of work concept. So basically, because it's decentralized, right? Every computer running Bitcoin right now is responsible for resolving or producing a new block, right? Adding a new page to the ledger. Since everybody is responsible for that, in order to be able to hack Bitcoin, you would need to have 51% of the computers that are in Bitcoin. You would have to get them. So there's 20 million. Let's say there's 20 million different nodes in blockchain right now. If you wanted to hack Bitcoin, you would need 20 million computers in one. So it's extremely hard to hack Bitcoin because nobody in this world has trillions of dollars to invest in hacking Bitcoin. And so you have safety. The more people invest in Bitcoin, the more people put quote unquote their life savings into it, the more people earn more money, the safer it is. And yeah, it becomes it's like a game of, some people might call it a Ponzi scheme, right? Like in a Ponzi scheme, you everybody, the people who started the Ponzi scheme benefit from it. So you got to understand, the world of crypto is a little bit wild right now. There's not regulations. It's like the internet before the internet. See, the internet today is 90% of the traffic of the internet goes to the 10 different sites. So Bitcoin is kind of the wild, wild west at this point right now. And so you have to be extremely careful about buying Bitcoin from decentralized exchange. And so what I have right now, I buy all of my crypto is in Coinbase. So I'm going to be showing you. It keeps autofocusing. Yeah, I see my camera does keep autofocusing, doesn't it? I'm going to be showing you guys my crypto portfolio real quick. So let me do that. Yeah, I apologize for my camera to keep auto-focusing. I did realize that when I was making it, when I was making these things, making the videos. Like I tried, but it did not work out. It looks like they want me to, quote unquote, give me a sec. I'm trying to sign into my crypto account and they are challenging me. All right, so I have my crypto portfolio out. Give me a sec. So here's what my crypto portfolio looks like. So I have, of course, you probably noticed the 50 grand right there, but here are my assets. So I don't have any Bitcoin right now. And again, this is a disclaimer: do your own work, do your own research into this stuff. This is why I think it's my future. This is not crypto advice, but this is just me talking about crypto. Most of my money is invested into Ethereum. Ethereum is a blockchain that came after Bitcoin. And it is more, because it's like second, it's just more, it's not as big as Bitcoin right now. Like you can see one Ethereum is about $4 grand. And this is Coinbase, if you don't know. So Coinbase is a way that you can buy crypto with more safety, more regulations, right? Like right now, March 10th, I believe it is. You're able to see exactly how much money you have in an exchange. An exchange is basically like they do all the work of buying the crypto for you. And so I basically have it set up where I buy like $200 worth of crypto every month. And I think that's the best way to go about it. Crypto is just like a stock right now. And so let me see. I don't even know how to use this stuff, but Yeah, you can see all of my. I have 10 different ETH right now. I have a lot of SHIB. Like SHIB is just like Doge, but it's on an Ethereum network. I have crypto.com. I love what they're doing in the crypto arena. They're another exchange, Polkadot. But yeah, these are all my different crypto assets that I have right now. And so I've been trying to get an affiliate link with them, but I don't have it just yet. But yeah, this is my portfolio on crypto. I'm big into Ethereum because Ethereum has, because it's newer, it's at 4 grand. If it blows up like Bitcoin, I stand to make a lot more money. And Ethereum is like Bitcoin, except there is an unlimited amount of crypto. I mean, Ethereum, you can print more. You can print more coins. There's a limited amount of Bitcoin that are ever going to exist, but in Ethereum, you'll always be able to create more. But at the same time, you can other people can create their own blockchains or their own cryptocurrencies from Ethereum, which is something that you cannot do inside of Bitcoin, as well as they have a different model, which is proof of stake. So remember how I told you that in order to hack Bitcoin, you needed to have 51% of the total nodes. Well, if you want to hack Ethereum, you need the nodes of Ethereum. They produce the next blocks by the nodes staking their money. So you can stake your Ethereum, and you see I'm getting a percentage of the money that I stake. And basically, you cannot pull out your money until a year. So if you wanted to hack Ethereum, you would have to put up 40 grand just to have one node, and then you would need to have 51% of that. So imagine if there's 20 million computers in Ethereum, or there's 2 trillion people have $20 billion invested in the Bitcoin. If you wanted to even start hacking Ethereum, well, you would have to put up 20 billion in $1 just to start. And then on top of that, if you are unsuccessful, Ethereum will cut those nodes. You will lose all your money. So you have a lot to lose from trying to hack Ethereum. And so I think it's better and it's safer for the environment. Like Bitcoin produces a whole lot of electricity, so it's bad for the environment. But proof of stake is way better for the environment than Bitcoin. So it's environmental friendly. It has been built upon safety and extensibility, and you have a lot more. You can make a lot more money from Ethereum than you will from Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, in order to make double your money from Bitcoin will have to go to 60 grand to 120 grand. 120 grand. In order for you to double your money with Ethereum, it would have to go from like 4 grand to 8 grand, which is way more likely than I think it going from 60 grand to 120. And so those are some of the reasons why I am invested into crypto, Ethereum. But yep. So that is my journey. Let's see. My camera keeps auto-focusing. Yeah. If we have any more questions from the audience? I guess not. Looks like I'm in here by myself. But I guess I'll go ahead and try to do one more thing. I wanted to do a reaction video. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do a reaction video. Give me one second. So let me guys know if you can hear.
Job is way easier than people make it out to be. All you need to do is do what nobody else is doing.
Can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that? You need that's in the Bitcoin. And it's safe. You have a lot Ethereum. What does it do?
Nobody else is.
Oh yeah, y'all can hear that. All right, we are going to be reacting to why getting into government technology is easier than you think. So this video is going to be. Let me record the timestamp. My God, I have to go back and clip this stuff up, man. All right, guys. This is Rami from the Black Tech Experience. And today we are watching why getting into government tech is easier than you think. So if you don't know who I am a software engineer with experience at various different tech companies, all the way from American Express, Dell, Google, Twitch. And so I've been focused on the programming aspect of technology. And I don't really have a lot to tell you guys on quote unquote government tech. But I have found this channel. Let me just shout her channel out real quick. Simone BB's, Simone BB's of government tech. And she has a lot of interesting information for us as far as how do we get into government tech? How do we learn about how do we get those 200K jobs and not have to write any code? How do we get those 200K jobs and we get into help desk? I think this is going to be an excellent video for us, and hopefully I can give you guys some insider looks as somebody who comes from a more traditional programming background, but I don't necessarily have any of the government tech. So let's take a look into it.
Doing, which is looking for tech jobs.
Let's go back.
Getting a six-figure job is way easier than people make it out to be. All you need to do is do what nobody else is doing, which is looking for tech jobs in the government technology industry. This industry is booming right now. Hiring is up 36%, and the best part of it all, nobody's talking about it. All you need is the right guidance. And in this video, I'll be going in depth on how you can break into the GovTech industry in 90 days without a degree and without breaking a sweat. The best thing about the GovTech industry is that it is highly reliant on certifications. So if you have the right certifications,
so I'm gonna stop it there. So in my industry, I find that we don't need a lot of certifications. They do help. Like I've thought about getting a certification in Kubernetes because I think I saw it on TikTok's jobs. But basically, in my like programming at Google or Facebook, like generally just programming questions or programming projects in some cases, but we really don't rely on certifications. So if you are looking to get into government tech, it seems like you have to do more certification work, which is okay. Like, I think that's a lot easier and a lot more fair than programming questions, to be honest.
It automatically makes you qualified to apply for different GovTech roles. So you don't need to spend 4 years going back to school to get a degree to become qualified to start applying to jobs in the GovTech industry. If you can answer a phone and you know how to use a computer and you can sit down and study to pass an exam, you can get into the GovTech industry. Some basic tech skills that you need to get into government technology is basic IT troubleshooting. So if you understand how to use a computer, you can get into government technology. You also need to understand how to troubleshoot. So if somebody is having issues with something, you need to know how to fix them. But as long as you can read and follow directions, you are able to easily get into this industry and do the right things to be able to get these jobs. So you don't need to go into the super highly technical tech jobs to get into government technology. You can start at entry-level tech roles where they're paying somewhere between $55,000 to $65,000 a year, and they sponsor your government clearance. So when you get your government security clearance, this is what's going to set you up for success in the government technology industry.
Hey, just for a side note, my first job was $50K and I was writing code. So definitely does seem like this is something that is a lot less paid than what I was doing along the way. But yeah, like basically, this is something. It seems like the government. My brother is in the chat right now. But he works for the government. It's a lot stable. It's a lot more stable than a job at a tech company, right? Like you see, like there's mass layoffs right now. I don't know if the government. I don't believe the government has mass layoffs. They usually treat you a lot better. I think there's a lot more stringent on the rules. Like maybe you have to wear a tie. Maybe you have to look business appropriate. But yeah, I definitely do think this is something that needs to be talked about in our community.
Industry. Now let's focus a little bit on the skills that are needed to get into the GovTech industry. First, you need to know how to use a computer, like I said before. So if you know how to use a computer, you learn the basic hardware and software skills and terminologies, you can get into the industry. And this shouldn't take you longer than 2 weeks to learn the basics of computers. Also, you need to understand the basics of Windows. So you need to understand how to create user accounts, how to use the Windows system, and then also how to just navigate through different systems and applications using Windows. If you can, learn a little bit about Linux as well, because Linux will help you get those higher paying jobs. But if you can't learn Linux in a short amount of time, just focus on learning mostly Windows and also virtualization like virtual machines such as VMware, because a lot of GovTech companies use VMware. So if you learn the basics of computers, you learn the basics of Windows, and you learn the basics of VMware, you can learn all of these things within 30 to 45 days, and that will help you get into GovTech. You also need to focus on getting certification. So the best certification for you to get in the GovTech industry is the CompTIA Security Plus certification. Now, when it
CompTIA Security Plus certification. Yeah, I'll be linking this video under this, but I did want to call it, like somebody asked me like what computer they need for their child or their like kid in university. Like you see how Linux and VMware, even if you have a Windows computer, like learning Linux is still important. So yeah, that's something I'll be focused on.
comes to getting this certification, it just depends on how fast you want to study for it. Some people pass it within 2 weeks. Some people take their time and it might take them 90 days. Now, it just depends on how you want to go about your studies. I suggest that whatever you do, just make sure that you are focusing on actually learning the information. So when you get into the interviews, you sound knowledgeable, as if you know exactly what you're talking about when they ask you technical questions. So if you just speed through the Security Plus certification and you don't remember anything, it's not going to be helpful, but it will be that checkbox that will help you get your foot in the door and get that interview in the GovTech industry. So if you're willing to put in an hour a day of studying and you know how to assemble something from IKEA, you can get into the GovTech industry, just because most of the time there's always documentation that you can follow. And if there isn't documentation, they do on-the-job training. So it makes it very easy to stay inside of this industry compared to other tech industries where they pretty much want you to know everything as soon as you get started. So why is the CompTIA Security?
Facts. They do want you to know everything as soon as you get started on my side. So if you're not, I promise you guys, if you want a less hard field, this government tech seems super good. But yeah.
Security Plus certification so important in the GovTech industry? Well, in the GovTech industry, we have what you call the DoD 8570 baseline certifications. These certifications are pretty much the baselines for information assurance, which is now known as cybersecurity. So you must have specific certifications to be qualified to apply for specific roles. So you'll see some different jobs that might say, hey, you need to be DoD IAT level 2 qualified or level 2 certified to apply to this role. And then some job postings will straight up just say you must have the Security Plus before even starting this job. And when they say that, they won't even give you an interview if you don't already have the Security Plus. So you want to focus on that. So with just one certification and spending time practicing your IT skills, you can get your first job in GovTech versus going to school, spending 4 years on a degree that might not even get you the job that you want to have. I see so many people go to school for 4 years, they get IT degrees, and then they still don't even get an IT job. So you have to have the right blueprint to actually get to where you want to be at in the GovTech industry. Knowing where to find GovTech jobs is probably the biggest mystery to people. So when you're looking for GovTech jobs, there are a couple of different places that you can go look at. If you want to work for the federal government, the federal government jobs are listed on usajobs.gov. If you want to work for a government contractor, you can go look directly on the government contractor websites or clearancejobs.com. Now, the difference between federal government and government contractors is basically the amount of pay, and some people say the amount of job stability. But when it comes to the amount of pay, federal government pays less than being a government contractor, and that's just because government contractors get large amounts of money from the government. So every single year, the government is spending about $3.5 trillion on government technology, and you definitely want to be able to get a piece of that pie. So by working
So being a contractor as a programmer is not like this. I guess you're not funded by companies. Like, I was a contractor for American Express. Basically, I worked through a third-party contracting company, and they got a piece of the pie, and they split it. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how this works. So you get more money. It seems like you get more money being somebody who working for a third-party contracting agency. But in my experience, some of those can be kind of shady. So I would definitely do your research on that company. Anytime some money is passing, it's not going directly to you. I think being a contractor in the industry is not bad, but being a third-party contractor, in my experience as a software engineer, has been pretty crappy. But yeah,
working for government
let's just see it sounds like what she said is different on her side.
contractor companies, they're getting some of this money every single year, which flows down to you. So that's why you get paid much more versus the federal government, where you get paid off of a general schedule pay scale, which is also known as the GS.
It's Black Friday and contentcreator.com.
Bruh, I am not showing an ad in my live stream. Give me a second. I'm gonna skip it. All right. But yeah, we're going back. We're listening to being a contractor.
Look up all of these salaries within the federal government on the OPM's website. So if you go to opm.gov, you can find these different salaries and you can see all of the federal government salaries there. But no matter which side you choose, whether it's federal government or government contractor, you will have a lot of job stability, mainly because you have great experience that nobody else has. So it's not many people that work in the government technology industry. So once you have that experience, that gives you a leg up. You also will have your government security clearance, which you can't just find somebody off of the street that has these clearances. So that also makes you more in demand and more valuable. So once you obtain your certifications and your government security clearance, you cannot be stopped, and you'll always have a job in the GovTech industry. Any job that you can think of is in the GovTech industry. So whether you want to be a software engineer, cybersecurity engineer, network engineer, cloud engineer, you want to be somebody who works in the field and you get your hands dirty, there's all kind of technician jobs. There's also data analyst jobs and quality assurance. Literally any tech job you can think of, you can find in the GovTech industry. So that is something that is super, super important and different about the GovTech industry compared to other tech industry where it's mostly only software engineers engineering jobs. There are thousands of GovTech jobs that are posted, and there are so many more that go without ever having a single applicant. So if you're willing to go out and apply to these different jobs and apply to at least 10 jobs a day, you are 100% going to land your first GovTech job. So if you don't think that you can do it, trust me, go right now, go look on clearancejobs.com and go look for yourself and see how many GovTech jobs are available. So now that you know where to go find these different GovTech positions at, let's talk about the hiring process a little bit.
That's what's up. I always knew I could be a software engineer for the government, but I didn't know. Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of opportunity here. But I don't know what that looks like for me. Maybe somebody, Emmanuel, I don't have the Discord just yet. I'm still waiting. I wanted to wait until after my Patreon to get it set up. But yeah, just talking about being a software engineer. Yeah, maybe the government would have been a better job. See, I was not necessarily looking into it because I wanted to, the Googles, you can dress however you want, but looking back, it probably might have been a better fit for me from what I got.
Comes to getting hired in the GovTech industry, it is a very straightforward process. You are going to apply for the job. Once they see that you have the right skills and qualifications, a recruiter will reach out to you just to talk over your resume and to talk over your experience. So that is a very easy phone screening interview. Next, you'll have an interview with the team that you'll be working with. So you'll get onto that interview. It might be a panel interview or it will just be one person. Throughout that interview, your main focus is to, one, highlight the skills and the value that you bring to the company, and then also show your personality and make sure that you can show that you're a good team player and somebody who is willing to learn something new. When you're first trying to get your foot in the door, that's the main thing you want to focus on, is being available to learn new things and being that person who's willing to try something new on the job and being that person who they can actually rely on when it comes to things outside of the scope. And some people might say, hey, I don't really want to do things outside of my job description, but that's what's going to allow you to make the most money and get promotions faster than other people. So the people who aren't willing to put in more work and do more things on the job, they're the people who are sitting around not getting any raises or promotions over the years. So when you go into the interview telling them, hey, I'm willing and open to learn new things.
Bruh, we have another commercial, but give me a second. I'm gonna drop that. But she has a point, right? Like being somebody that's teachable, being somebody that's likable, is definitely something that will get you very far in life. Like my math teacher said it, like not being a jerk can get you very far in life, even if you're not the most talented. And I agree. Like companies have so much stressful situations, guys, and to be honest, it's like when you have somebody that's adding to that stress, when you have somebody that's maybe taking from that stress, it doesn't matter how talented you are. Like you want people, like Michael Jordan said it best, like I want people that are willing to pass the ball rather than people that are super talented. And definitely agree with that. Like you see it in every industry. You see everybody talking about it. Like I should have been more focused on the people skills part of it, but
going to want to choose you as the person that they go with for the job that's open. So as long as you get the right tech certifications, you go into the interview showing your technical skills and the value that you bring to them, and also showing your personality, you will be a shoo-in to get your first GovTech job. Make sure that when you're applying to these different jobs in GovTech that you have your resume and everything all ready to go. Also make sure that you are open and willing to going through the background check for the government security clearance. To go through the government security clearance process, you need to be open to talking about your job experience, where you've lived at, where you've worked at, and just going through an overall background check. So if you're open to do that, you will be able to get into the GovTech industry. The government knows that everybody isn't willing to go through this government security background check, so they pay you a premium for having your government security clearance. There's even jobs out there that give up to a $50,000 per year bonus just for having a government security clearance. clearance. So it's very lucrative to get your government security clearance and to keep that clearance. I've seen people with no tech experience whatsoever get into the GovTech industry and completely change their life. So as long as you're willing to put in the work and study, you are able to get into this industry and work these different GovTech jobs. And once you have your foot in the door, it is smooth sailing from there. The process may seem easy, but it might take a while given the fact that there's not much information out there on how to break into the GovTech industry, which is why I created a step-by-step guide that makes it crystal clear on exactly what you need to do. I show people how to land a high-paying GovTech role in 90 days, whether you've been to school or you haven't been to school and you just want to break into tech using certifications. If you're interested, it'll be the first link in the description below.
And that is it. We'll go ahead and end it here. But yeah, it's interesting. Like the government tech side of this seems like it would have been an easier path than programming. Like compared to my side, like you have to do all this leak code and like leak code. You have to be well connected into the industry in order to get into some of these FANG companies. And what else could I say? Yeah, like these certs don't really do it for you. Like just because you have a certification doesn't mean like somebody is willing to interview you at all. Is my camera out of focus? But there it is. All right. Yeah, it's doing that thing again. But it is what it is. I guess I'll be leaving Simone BB's or this video in the link in the description. I really guys hope that you look into her government tech. Like if you're looking into that side, if you don't have a degree, if you don't want to go back to college, I think this is the best plan for you to get into this industry and start making money. And yeah, let me know if you like this style of content. I think she has a lot of other videos that I thought were interesting as well that I would love to react to. Let me know in the comment section if you think that this is something I should continue doing. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here in the live stream. Like you can catch me out. I'm thinking like I want to do it every Monday or every Sunday. But yeah, I think it'll be kind of like this from now on. I'll be making my videos live in front of y'all and answering your questions. So we really appreciate everybody who came through. Emmanuel Roberts, Techie Lewis, CeeLo, Malkinesis, Reggie, my brother. Really appreciate you guys supporting me. I'd love to see you in the next one. But other than that, we're going to end it here. Got through all of it. Peace out. Have a good one.